Art Focus is a program about the brightest and the most current developments in the fields of art and cultural life in the country and in the world. It is a report about the greatest cultural events like musical concerts, festivals, art exhibitions and theater premieres. You will be able to visit the most interesting theater sets as well as workshops of famous artists, and you will also get acquainted with the best art representatives and learn the secrets of their crafts together with the Art Focus program. Art Focus is always in the focus of the brightest events. Recently, Almaty witnessed a unique exhibition of Saule Suleymenova's paintings under the name of Somewhere in the Great Steppe. Despite the name, items of exhibition portray the theme of city and owl surrounding it. The painter works using a very unusual technique. All of her paintings are made with the ordinary cellophane bags, which in her hands take shape, color, composition and turn into real works of art. I have an architectural education, but when I was 16 I decided to become a painter. In 2014 I invented cellophane painting. One day I just saw a bag with other bags inside, and I was inspired by the idea that I could use them for creativity. At first I just put all those bags on the floor in the form of a bunch of flowers and took a picture. I remember that for me it was a terrific discovery. I did not know how to work with bags properly. I used stapler or tried to squeeze them between two glass panels. Then someone suggested using a glue gun. Approximately 70% of the paintings at the exhibition were done in the last 3 months. I worked very hard. I wanted to show the infinity of our steppe with the use of cellophane bags. I believe that Saule Suleymenova is one of the great Kazakh painters of our time. Her creativity is fascinating because she lives in her own universe and has her own different view of life. This exhibition has made a great impression on me. I look at these pictures and realize that this is just cellophane. But I start to look closely, and just like in Monet paintings, I see individual elements that form a single concept, single image, that has its history, accents and problems. I am very glad to have a chance to see Saule Suleymenova's works. I really like her paintings, and I think that now in Kazakhstan this genre is unique. It is a surprise that she creates such beautiful works using cellophane. I am very impressed with how she conveys colors and nature of people. I like it, and it inspires me. I will keep in top of her works and hope her future works will be just as beautiful. I'm looking forward to her new exhibitions, and I'm sure to recommend them to my friends. I got to this exhibition by accident. I knew Saule Suleymenova before she began to do her works in that genre. I am glad that she has decided to make such an exhibition. The paintings are very interesting. I also admire the technique of creating paintings, especially I am impressed by the way she makes people's faces using only cellophane. I am glad to be here, and I will definitely tell about this exhibition to my friends, who is sure to be interested in it. First of all, it seems to me that Saule Suleymenova is a painter who has never abandoned her vocation, and for me, this is something paradoxical, because many creative people are in constant search trying to understand what they want to do. And Saule Suleymenova has always been independent and confident, which represents a great value. Secondly, I was shocked by the idea of exhibition. In addition to the fact that these works are avant-garde, interesting and vivid, they have a mixture of authenticity and absolute modernity. I believe that Saule is genius, and I congratulate her on this amazing work. Among the numerous art and historical museums in Kazakhstan, Rare Book Museum outstands with ancient national and foreign publications, manuscripts and printed books of historical, cultural and scientific value. The four halls of the museum offer priceless items that invite visitors to travel on the pages of history. Rare Book Museum was established in 2010 to preserve, study and popularize scientific, cultural and spiritual heritage of Kazakhstan. Today, the museum's collection includes more than 700 rare manuscripts and publications dating back to the second half of the 18th century until the first half of the 20th century. On average, our museum is visited by about 75,000 people a year. And these days, we see that young generation becomes more and more interested in our museum, which is a joy for us, as young people are interested in the history of their ancestors, thus cultivating patriotism and spirituality. The book was in all times considered as a source of knowledge. Rare Book Museum is the best place to see the history of formation of our literature and book industry. Rare Book Museum has a permanent exposition entitled Treasures from the Depth of Centuries, which includes early printed books, first printed editions, lifetime works and manuscripts of outstanding public figures of historical and regional value. Book is like a living organism, and therefore, for the preservation of book artifacts, there is constant monitoring of the storage of rare publications. And for this purpose, pressure, humidity and temperature are measured in the halls of the museum. Books represent the history of our ancestors. Even in the age of globalization, with the development of information and digital technologies, we should not forget about the magic of printed book. And only Rare Book Museum offers you to see especially valuable publications telling about the history and culture of nation. The museum aims to show the way the book has passed from the first manuscripts to modern samples of polygraphic art, taking rare books as examples, and cultivate love and respect for the book as the most valuable artifact of spiritual culture of all times and peoples. Stained glass, as a kind of monumental art, is known worldwide since the Renaissance. Since then, there have not been any significant changes in the way it looks and in the way it is designed. Our today's guest, Ekaterina Вознесенская, uses technique of stained glass in an unusual way. She creates magnificent paintings with glass, filling them with a charming atmosphere and incredible content. My mother is an architect. We always had some handmade at home, and she also did painting. So for me in my childhood, it was all natural, and all the time I wanted to try something myself. A long time ago, I tried oil painting, but I found no place for me in that craft. One day I came across glass paints by chance. In the beginning I tried them on vases, glasses, and then gradually I began to paint on flat glass and do painting. Then I tried to add something to the technique to use various additional materials. And in such step-by-step manner I have come to what I'm doing now. When I start painting, I look for an image, what will inspire me to do painting. I make a sketch, then I make a black outline on the glass. And the glass shall be of a certain thickness. One shall not use thin glass, as it is a fragile and unsafe material. When I understand what a picture shall look like, I start coloring. I use a special paint for glass. It differs with its properties and final result from all other paints, for example watercolors or oils. This is why the picture always looks different depending on the light falling down on it. It is either natural or artificial lighting. Next stages can become complicated depending on how I want to develop the painting. I can add skin, stones or feathers. Then I try to add more texture and volume. For example, I can do gilding with the use of such material as a gold leaf, that is a thin foil to be put on a surface with a special glue. It gives the painting a certain impression, texture and saturation. Then, if I lose some lace or fabric, I apply a special lacquer to make all materials more durable. Another advantage of these paints is that they are water resistant. Such paintings can be easily washed. If it is a vase, one can use it as intended, because water does not affect the painting. Some paintings require one-stage execution, that is, I sit down to paint it and I need to continue to finish it without interruption, because application of this paint has some technical characteristics. If the first coat of paint has dried and I continue to make a new coat, the meeting point of the old and new coat can be easily noticed. And there are such special paintings, for example some unusual images, that do not allow such meeting points. I also have paintings of another kind of complexity, when I use different materials. In this case, during my work I can stop, do some creative search, look for new materials, select colors. In general, it takes me from 1 to 5 days to do one painting. I think that every creative person who does or creates something also tells something about himself or herself. For example, a photographer, sculptor, director or painter, all of them, through the prism of their perception, present the viewer with a part of their soul and how they see this world, how they see the beauty and magnificence of this world and what they want to tell about themselves. After all, every movie character reflects a part of the director. Every photograph is a self-portrait of the one who has taken it, even if he or she is not present on the photograph. The same with the paintings. In each of them I want to tell about myself, about how I see this world, and what is a sense of beauty for me. I have been doing this for many years, but I do not want to think about the future, whether I will continue to do this, or maybe I will come up with something new, or I can even start doing another kind of creative work. But today, this is something that gives me pleasure. This art is something through which I can express myself and show my creativity and tell about my inner world. And it is something that I cannot help doing.